Morning usually starts the same for everyone. But the day soon takes a different turn for those just released from prison. Freedom should mean a fresh start. Too often, it means endless roadblocks. No ID, no home, no doctor, no ride, no job. Those hoping to get back on their feet face one struggle after another. Those who can receive help after they get out are much more likely to get back on their feet sooner, but most are released with no support or structure in their lives.
I was in federal prison for 10 years. I had 25 years of probation post-incarceration.
I spent 13 years incarcerated at South Bay. Very difficult years for me, considering I was never in prison before. Yes, I have 20 years probation.
I have done over 20 years in prison. I got 3 years of probation.
I was in jail for 4.5 years and then went to prison for 14 months, which is a total of 68 months.
I have over 30 years of incarceration.
I was incarcerated for 33 straight years.
I spent 52 years in prison minus 22 days. I watched the moon landing in 1969 from prison.
The world was totally different when I got out. It was completely electronic, and I had no experience with electronics before I went to prison. My telephone was a push-button telephone on the wall. I never had a computer. I never had a cell phone. I had no access.
When I went in, everything was somewhat of a analog. And then when I returned and was released, everything had become computerized.
I had to rely on people that knew about electronics so that I could learn how to use this new system.
The world had changed quite a bit since I was incarcerated. Things were definitely different. It's been quite a bit of adjustment with AI and cell phones and the like.
My lawyer that came pick me up, he's driving, and I hear this voice. Your door is ajar. And so I'm thinking he's a tranquilist of some type, you understand me, throwing his voice. I said, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look in the back seat. There has to be somebody back there, you know. I looked in the back seat, there was no one there. I said, man, I keep hearing this voice. He said, that's the car talking to you. I said, my God, things have changed so dramatically.
The first 30 days of coming out after prison, I think the biggest thing is to find some place where they can put their head at night and feel a secure feeling of that. And then having, the basic necessities as far as food, shelter, clothing, things along that line. And those things have to be established, set up, before you can begin any kind of therapy with these guys.
When I first got out, I had absolutely nowhere to go. They were releasing me homeless to live underneath a bridge somewhere in Broward County, Florida.
Unsure of what my home situation would be, lack of family support, very unsure of my future in the world that I came out to.
In the first 30 to 60 days, it's definitely important to have a support system, to be able to communicate with your family members, with your friends, in whatever capacity, being able to get the proper documentation that you need when it comes to driver's licenses, any certificates, any history that you have in terms of trying to seek employment. We find a lot of individuals come out and they are not able to get a job because they simply don't have a driver's license. They only have their prison ID. So it's very important that they get their proper identification as well as medication.
A major concern that I had upon release was my documentation, driver's license, social security card, birth certificate, none of which I had or were given to me when I was released. It took 6 months of tedious work, letters, phone calls, to be able to start my new life, job, to have a driver's license. It was a challenge, but I was given help along the way by my support team.
Upon getting out, I was helped immensely. Now I'm also able to be in touch with others that I knew that are not out, and I'm able to encourage them. Several of them have already filled out applications and made phone calls to get support when they get out. And I see how encouraged they are. Many of them have no family, no friends. They never make any phone calls right now other than me. I'm their family, I'm their phone calls, I'm their help, I'm their support, and that encourages me to encourage others.
I think people getting out of prison have varying degrees of support, and it's all incumbent upon them to take advantage of those opportunities. But I have to admit I was quite blessed to come here and all the support I received. And basically it's given me a place to succeed in my own pace, with my own degree of hope and inspiration and desire and dreams.
I was given very good support by a reentry program, without which I wouldn't be where I am today, with a job, with a vehicle, with a home, people who care about me. It was very good support, enabled everything for me. I got out, like I said, unsure of what my future was going to be. I was given a home, I was given clothes, I was given food.
After my incarceration, I was very fortunate to land where I landed, and not everybody gets this opportunity. There's people out there that I know are living under bridges, that I know are living hand to mouth and living on corners, and you see them every day standing in the middle of intersection holding signs.
I was presented an opportunity to come to a community that offered assistance through friends and references. Coming here, I took advantage of the opportunities I presented, and I'm flourishing through work and just trying to get on with my life.
I think reentry should be a holistic reentry program where we don't focus on just the housing. We don't just focus on just the on-the-job training programs. We focus on what's the solution, why did they go, whether it be mental health, whether it be substance abuse, or whether it's just anger management. So reentry should take a part of the whole person, not just the main ingredients of a person coming out of prison.
As we get out of prison, we think that we need a job, and so I think a job would be great, but I think that resources would be even better. Mental health, some people don't even think about that. Doing years in prison, and mental health is big, and it needs to be touched on.
A lot of individuals that were in prison for years and years, they were on stable medication. When they get out, from what I hear, the majority of them are not given even a 7 or 14-day supply. I would definitely say that the individuals that are more successful are the ones that are able to get seen by a doctor as soon as possible after their release so that they can get back on the same medication they were on and seek that stability. They are now dealing with a whole other set of symptoms stemming from their prison sentence. In the DSM, which is what we use to diagnose mental health disorders, the newest one, there is a proposal to have PTSD added to the list of mental health disorders. The P stands for prison, post-traumatic stress disorder. So we are not only trying to help individuals re-enter back into society, but they're dealing with a whole other host of symptoms stemming from their incarceration. We typically see some of these symptoms disappear after a few months, once they get stable, once they are have a routine, such as having a job, a place to go, and other people to surround themselves with.
Having the support of the people from the community helped build up my self-esteem. After going to a church in the community, I met a person who rented a space there, and I became involved in an organization and was actually a steering committee member for 8 years. These people have learned to trust me. I have really gained a lot of self-respect in myself from what I have done, and I have purpose today. Since becoming involved with these local organizations, I have gained back my self-respect. I have a very positive attitude with my life and where I'm headed, and it's good to be alive today.
Rather if you're a high-risk individual of a reentry or a low-risk individual, always believe that there's faith, there's hope ahead of you. And we can never allow what we've been through to dictate so much of our actions, but we tend to find ways to give them hope, to know that they can succeed, but it comes down to the trust and love of themselves, so therefore they can manifest greatness moving forward, so therefore people on the outside of them can actually see a better character of the individuals as far as being able to give them second chance opportunities moving forward.
I'm basically transforming myself into a better person, and this place is showing me so many beautiful things.
You know, after more than 10 years of reentry work, what really has been satisfying is watching people grow into a different version of themselves. You see someone who is willing to listen, someone who's willing to be coached, and then you watch them start owning their choices. The ones who really stand out, though, are those that stay connected and allow themselves to be held accountable, especially when life gets messy. Over time, that consistency shows in real ways. I mean, you see better jobs, restored relationships, healthier decision-making, and then is when this moment really comes full circle, when they stop focusing on themselves and start pouring out into others. Seeing that, that's what keeps me going.
Every impediment that you can't get to, there are 4 exits. You can either go over it, go to the left of it, go to the right of it, or you go below it. But don't stay there just bumping your head into that wall. It's a better opportunity just around the corner.